What's up, y'all? If you're finding this video from Claire's, first of all, welcome. Claire suggested this tune. We've been trying to do a couple of videos together. We did one maybe a month or so ago, and we're trying to churn out a few of these, and she suggested this one as a tune that she wanted to teach to her students, and asked if I'd done it yet, and it turned out I had. If you're just finding this video through me, go ahead and check out the link to Claire's video over on her channel. It's got the two of us playing. I'm playing on flute, she's playing on fiddle. When I usually do these videos, I'm playing it first off up-tempo, all the ornaments, kind of like how I would do it at a session. But since I already did that with Claire, presumably you've had a chance to go check that video out now. We're just going to dive right into the breakdown of the basic melody here. So starting with the A part, this tune is kind of weird because it starts up high. It starts in that second octave and it starts on that high A, which is pretty high up the whistle, and it gets a little bit shrill. One pro tip here, if you want to practice this in a household of people who complain about shrill noises, like a lot of them probably do, feel free to just drop the octave and play it the lower octave. But just remember that when you kind of go to play it for real, jump it up top. I'm going to play it up high. Feel free to drop the octave if you're so inclined. So here's the beginning of the A part. That's the first half. I'll run that again, just so you get that. Again, way up high. That's the first half. The second half starts the same, jumps back up to that high A, and it's really just the ending that's a little bit different. So here's the second half. I'm going to play the whole A part all together, just so you get that. So that's the whole A part once through. Like most tunes, it's going to repeat, so you play A, A, B, B, so that one will go around again. But now we'll break down the B part, which, again, because this is kind of an oddball tune, the B part spends a little bit more time in the lower octave. That's the first half. Second half of the beginning time through the B part starts on the same, starts on that E. I'll play that now. So just like the A part, the ending of the B part lands on that first octave A. Hopefully that makes sense. A lot of A's and B's in that. The second time through the B part, it does something a little different. So we'll get to that in a sec. I'm just going to run the whole first time through the B part, because it is actually different first time through the second time. So we'll make sure we get the first time through. This is it now. Second time through, the second half of the B part is different. So I'm going to play the whole second time through the B part. You'll notice the first half of that is going to be the same as what we just did. Second half's different. So it does that kind of walk down sort of thing, this bit here. And that bit at the end, that's the same as how we wrapped up the first part, but it's just that one little, that kind of calliope kind of sound there. One of those just kind of unique things to this tune, what makes it kind of cool, I think. So we'll get to some of the things that you can do with that part, because that is sort of a hook to this tune, but we'll get to that in a second. We'll break down the ornaments in the A part first. starting with that up top high A. Right, that's your basic melody. So you're sitting on that high A. Of course, that's a good time for a roll. And I'm going to, just for sake of preserving my own hearing, I'm going to drop it down the octave. But again, we are talking about the A part, so what would be up high, we're going to start there. We're going to do this. Right, so that's the beginning of the A part. So just for our own sanity, the roll on the A, and then I'd usually cut that B, that high B, and I cut that G. It's really, I'm hitting the one and the 4, I guess, in this beat, just to kind of accent those a little bit. Now you can tap that C natural. That's one thing I do sometimes. It's easier on the whistle than it is on the flute, and I tend to play more flute, so I kind of get out of that habit. Again, jumping the octave just so you can get a good frame of reference. So as you hit that, land on that C, you can just tap this, and it gives that kind of it gives sort of an accidental G note as a tap. Just one of those cool things about the whistle. And then I would cut that B, cut that A. Not really anything to do there. Sometimes I'll do a triplet. That triplet that I use a lot on the whistle because it's got that punchy sound, and particularly in a tune like this where it's got a natural C natural to it, it really works well as kind of a cool rhythmic thing. So finishing that phrase, that turn, then so you're going from an A up to a D, which is a great time to use that triplet. And that triplet again is you're going from a B, hitting that accidental G as you transition from the B to the C. Demonstrated that probably ad nauseum, but it's one of my favorite things. And it's got that cool popping sound when you do it quickly. That accidental G in there just really jumps out, I think. Same as before. Cutting that G. And you can tap that C natural again if you want. Finish the phrase that lands on that nice long A with a short roll. And that repeats. And I generally keep those fairly simple. I try not to overload the higher octave, particularly on the whistle with ornaments, because it runs the risk of breaking notes, and it just sometimes sounds a little muddy. Simple and clean usually works pretty well with this tune. So once more. Now you can, when you land on that lower E, you can do that kind of popping noise. As you land there, you're popping off this finger. All it is just an extra grace note. But as you land on that note, I like to think of it as just popping that finger off. Just has a little bit of a bubbly kind of sound. That's the whole A tune, or the whole A part. Now the B part, to my ear, is a lot less notey, less range, covers a lot less range, but gives you some more room for some cool ornaments. So starting on the E, basic melody, refresher. Doesn't cover a very wide swath of notes, but we are sitting on that E a couple of times, which gives you a chance to do some rolls. Now you can do the rolls just like that. Or you can, when you come back to it that second time, you can do that kind of cool crossing noise. Same thing on the G. If I'm doing these ornaments, I kind of like to have a reason for it, for one thing. And I like to do sort of a mirror effect. So if I'm doing it in one spot, I like to do it again later. Just kind of bookends it rather well. So you do that crossing noise on the E, I also do it on the G. Again there. Anytime you're sitting on that D like that, you can do different note, or you could do a cran, or a triplet. You have a lot of options with that little phrase, and these A minor tunes tend to have that. So again, that turnaround there is the same as in the A part. Landing on that short roll in the A. Now, second time through is where You got to really sell it. So, to that point, exactly the same as the A part. It finishes up. That's how I typically do it. Roll, short roll, short rolls every time, really. Every time you come back to that note, just kind of hitting that every time. And then the end of the phrase is the same as what we've done before, and you're welcome to throw in as many or as few ornaments as you like. If you haven't had a chance to check out Clara's version of that, please do. I'll post a link down below and give her a thumbs up, give her a subscribe. She's posting all kinds of great stuff, particularly if you're interested in fiddle or concertina, because she's an awesome player. And hopefully she and I'll get to be doing more of these duets together, more of these collaborations, because it's kind of fun. I hope you guys dig this tune. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you all in the next one. Cheers.